Good morning, everybody. This is your SP 500 setups for today. So, non-farm payrolls today. So, we will settle into some form of a consolidation, and you can see that very clearly at the moment as the bears are still trying to maintain control of this by pushing price down, and the bulls are trying to get things going by pushing price up. And obviously, there just ends up in a stalemate, which if you're awake this morning, you will see that that is a flag and consolidation pattern. And you go down to lower time frames, you'll see that it's actually a range as well. So typical price action, nothing earth-shattering or new about that. You can go back and back test these kind of patterns, and you'll see whenever there's a big news event, you'll tend to form a consolidation pattern waiting for the news, and then you should get a breakout if the news is not what people are expecting, or it'll just like bounce around and just stay here going into the close for the week. So right now, from a weekly perspective, we have buyers coming in. You see there is a fairly interesting setup of tails here, big diversion, separation of the oscillators, so big weekly flag possibly forming as well, straight off structure, and yeah, it's something you need to pay attention to. So it doesn't look like this is doom and gloom at the moment. It's been 5 weeks in a row that we've been red, so it's been quite a long period. If you look this year, we haven't had 5 red weeks in a row yet. So that's fairly interesting. But anyway, we need to be looking for opportunities, and we need to take those opportunities in whichever direction they go. So 3 hour doesn't change the picture at all. You can see there is a top. We probably find that there is some structure here. That pin bar is probably the most likely one. There we go. And to the downside, we're looking at this level here, which we're sort of bouncing around. This is also a weekly level, this 42.40. So we look at the oscillators sort of heading to the top, indicating possibly a move down, but my opinion at the moment, this is consolidation. You can actually just delete that horizontal, the diagonal, and delete that diagonal, leave the horizontals in, and that's your range. Okay, so don't forget to hit that like button there. It does help the channel, and allows a couple more people to make some money. So the moral of the story today is really just wait for the data. Don't get yourself suckered in on anything. And I wouldn't just wait for the data. I'd wait for the market opens. And if the data is extremely bad or extremely good, then you wait for 15 minutes, wait for the structure, and then go with the trend, whatever trend it's forming. But at the moment, you can see very typical price action. A day before non-farm payrolls, we go straight into this consolidation pattern. In between the moving averages, nothing really going to change today, and it'll more than likely stay just like this until the data is released. Okay, so yeah, it's kind of a difficult one to call without seeing the data, and I'm actually not even going to be in front of the charts today, so I am, let's just call it a long weekend. We'll pick up trading on Monday. I'm not going to be jumping in on any of this today. But for those of you that will be waiting for the data, or for those of you that are still learning how to trade, you need to see breakouts. So whether it's a breakout to the upside or breakout to the downside, that is what you're looking for. Now, you can work with this range that's here. So let's just say, for argument's sake, that range stays all the way through to the time data comes out. Then we pop up above the top, come back and test it. There would be a long entry there with a stop at the bottom, but your target is going to be capped by 42.67, which is the high, kind of the high of yesterday. There's the actual high of yesterday, but that's going to cap you, and this is going to cap you to the downside of 42.40. So if the data is really, really good, you'll see probably a gap up, run, and then it'll come back aggressively, more than likely to try and close the gap. And you need to wait for the structure. Once the structure is in and it comes and tests the breakout, the long is there, make sure you've got a decent stop area, or reduce your position size for remove the upside, because there is upside, what I call it, there's an upside potential pattern forming. So there is your left shoulder, there is your head, and this could be your right shoulder forming. So that would give you a move pretty much equal to that. Okay, so that's kind of the view that I've got to the upside. To the downside, I'm a little bit skeptical, just because we have all these weekly levels over here. So if you pop across to the weekly chart, you are going to see you've got this weekly structure here that we are trying to defend, and I'm going to put this one in as well. So in all honesty, we're trying to defend this. We're trying to defend these levels that we're at the moment. And we've got this one here, which we have tagged, which is at 4,200. We did tag that. When did we tag that? I think we tagged it yesterday. No, sorry, day before yesterday we tagged 4,200. There it is there. So that is also a very strong weekly level. So that's kind of the picture. And if you look at that head and shoulders target and you just eyeball this level to downside, it's almost equidistant. So another common trend of pre-data setups, we typically hover in the middle of a bigger range. So there's a upside target, here's a downside target, but you're going to need to break through these two levels in the middle. So from this one, it's 42.67 to the upside. So break, retest, that gives you that. And then 42.40 to the downside, break and retest will give you a target of 4,200. It is the end of the week, and you've seen what's happened on the weekly. We have a tail. It is a lower low. Last week's low is there from the weekly. This week's low is here. So it is another tail that's forming on the weekly. If this thing closes up here, that gives you a green, or possibly green, or very small red body weekly pin bar off structure, and that would set up a fairly decent break to the upside for next week. If this bar, if this weekly closes all the way down here on this 4,200 or below 4,200, that's going to nullify this level, and that is also going to excite the bears, because we would have closed below all the structure we're trying to defend. Okay, so there's a lot going on today, and unfortunately only really going to see it by the end of the week, and you'll probably pick it up on Monday morning to see whether it is long or it is a continuation to the downside. So that's kind of the long and short of it, should we say, this morning. I'm not doing it. I'm staying out of it. We'll just wait for tomorrow, let the chaos finish, and I'll have a look at it again on Monday, and there'll definitely be some decent opportunities on Monday. And we do have earnings season kicking off. We've got some coming out today, but I think next week is the bigger option. The bigger results coming out. Okay, anyway, that's it for me. Enjoy the weekend. Don't forget to hit that like button, and we will catch up with you on Monday morning. Cheers for now.